you didn't home, no. Street lights melt on a windshield. Never steer a wheel, warming my palms. City breathing slow like it's keeping me calm. Purple blow washing over my face, like the night trying hard to erase who I was when the world moved loud. When I wore my anger proud, babe, one side it felt like defeat. Empowerment never retreat. Now the bass roll thin, heartbeat sink to that note and sound. Windows crack just enough for smoke. Not hiding pain, just letting it flow. Billboards flicker, half-lit lies, selling youth in designer disguise. I don't chase that shimmer no more. I've seen what glitter is really for. We used to say we were bad on the street, but like trouble made a man complete. Truth is that title fades, where ink is real and youth decays. Ain't no anthem in a courtroom bar, ain't no glory in a late night call. Well, a voice on the other end says it didn't have to end like this, my friend. I learned strength ain't all your eyes, knowing when to let things die. Choosing call over prudent wrong. It's breathing deep when nights feel long. Slow burn underneath on rain, purple lights on window pane. I don't run from who I've been, I just don't live there again. Slow burn, no sirens now, no need to flex, no need to bow. This me in the road ahead, and the quiet things I never said. Dashboard clock blinking, so time don't rush, it just walks through every phase you try to hide. Through every version of your pride, there was a season I loved the noise. Mistook chaos for being poised, mistook fear for being tough, mistook silence for not enough. Now my voice sit low and clear, ain't shaking hands when old fears. When I sing it ain't for show, is if the only way I know to let the wave is all mid-tone, to turn regret into undertone, to let confession ride the beat instead of pacing restless streets at 420 haze in the midnight air. Ain't escape, it's a moment of care. Falls between the past and next, the quiet pace to self-reflect. Bad boys grow older too, no headline when they change their view. Indigo lights, yeah. Heavy air, yeah. City slow like a hell breath. Midnight pressing on the glass, time feel thick but moving fast. Indigo stretching down the street, heartbeat riding dusty beat. Used to think the world was war, every knock felt like a score. Measured worth in how I stood against whatever misunderstood. Now perspective, sitting wide, less reactive, more inside. Storms still come but I don't shake, every loss a lesson take. Heavy air but lungs expand, I don't fight what I can't command. Some truths only come with age, like knowing when to disengage. Baseline rolling deep and round, comfort us without a sound. I don't chase the loudest claim, I refine my inner flame. Indigo lane, steady flow, old patterns finally let go. No more rushing what I know, I move slow. Indigo nights, velvet tone, strength matured and overgrown. Not aggressive,
lights blur into art. Reflections mirror heart to heart. I see past versions in the haze, but they don't control my days. Growth ain't sudden, it's a grind. Rewriting scripts inside the mind. A learning habits built on fear. Choosing presence over veneer. 420 drifting soft. Not to numb, not to scarf. Just to sit within my skin. Comfortable with what's within. Never too like weighted silk. Smooth but carrying build guilt. Transform now into resolve. Into problems I can't solve. Masculinity redefined. Not through force but state of mind. Firm and gentle both can stand. Strength is knowing when to land. Indigo lanes beneath the sky. No need left to justify. Every breath an alibi for the man I am inside. Indigo air, slow release. Trading chaos in for peace. From resistance to increase in the least. I don't glamorize the past, I survived it, that's the fact. But survival ain't the peak. Living fully is what I see. So I let the engine glide. Not escaping, just a line. No more chasing empty praise. No more living in a haze. Indigo melting in the dawn. I ain't not gone, just moving on. And I remain steady stance. Product of a second chance. Heavy air but lighter chest. Finally at quiet rest. Still ambitious, still aware. Just no longer unaware. Indigo. Slow burn. Still turn. Slow burn. Still turn. Low frequency, feel it in the ribs, not loud, just deep. Baseline heavy in my chest, like the truth I once suppressed. Night sky painted dark and white, calm replacing former pride. I used to move in sharp extremes, all or nothing type of schemes. Either conquer or collapse, life reduced to tight relapse. Now I operate in gray, nuanced steps along the way. Strength refined, not overblown, confidence internally grown. Streetlight halos bend and stretch across the hood in golden edge. Every glow a subtle sign that evolution takes its time. I ain't rushing into noise, I ain't chasing louder boys. Masculinity mature, less reactive, more assured. Low frequency in my veins, clearing out residual stains. Breathing like I finally trust what remains when ego rusts. Low frequency salvation in a recalibration. No dramatic declaration, just steady transformation. Low frequency beneath my tone, not defensive, not alone. Solid as a carved out stone, fully grown. There were nights I felt untamed, fed by conflict under name. Thought intensity was depth, thought control meant holding breath. Now I sing with open lung, measured, rich, controlled, young. But not reckless, not confined, aligned in body, heart and mind. 420 drifting slow, not as crutch but ebb and flow. A reminder to decelerate, to not accelerate. Fade, city still seductive bright, but I don't confuse the light with direction or with aim. I define my own terrain. No more fighting phantom wars, no more guarding hidden doors. If you listen close, you'll hear growth replacing former frequency. Steady glide, nothing left I need to hide. No inflated sense of pride, grounded deep inside. Low frequency just without the fight. Coming tight. If you met me years ago, you feel tension in my flow. Now it's tempered, now it's tuned, like a room correctly tuned. I don't need to dominate conversations or debate. Presence speaks before I try. That's the shift that time implies. So I drive beneath the stars, not escaping former scars, just integrating every phase into wiser, slower days. Low frequency beneath the skin, proof of where I haven't been and where I'll never go again. Not out of fear but discipline. Sub-bass, heartbeat, complete, complete, complete. Sub-bass, heartbeat, heartbeat, complete, complete, complete. Sub-bass, heartbeat, complete, complete, complete. Sub-bass, heartbeat, heartbeat, complete, 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 complete.
Afterglow, boulevard breathing low. There's a softness and restraint in not reacting out of vain. Impulse used to run my pace, now patience sets the base. Boulevard stretch wide and bare, cool wind moving through my hair. No destination carved in stone, just comfort and being alone. I remember louder days, arguments and smoky haze. Every challenge felt like test, every insult to contest. Now I let the silence win, let perspective settle in. A man don't shrink by stepping back, he expands beyond attack. Afterglow behind the sun marks the battles I've outdone. Not erased but understood, growth redefined what strength once could. Heartbeat steady, slow and deep, promises I choose to keep. Not to ego, not to pride, but to something calm inside. Afterglow on empty lanes, nothing left to over-explain. Masculine without the strain, balanced in my own domain. Afterglow in violet shade, past decisions gently fade. I don't fight what time has made, I upgrade. There was hunger in my chest for approval, for conquest. Thought success meant being seen, now I value what's serene. 420 drifting light, like forgiveness in the night. Not to blur what I've become, just to feel the steady hum. Suit, guitar, bend and sigh underneath the open sky. Reminds me that emotion held turns metallic underwhelmed. So I let it move through tone, let the vulnerability be known. Not dramatic, not displayed, just honestly conveyed. It's city lights and distant roads, like chapters nobody knows. Every man got inner wars, not all wounds are visible scars. We don't talk about the shift from domination to uplift, from proving worth through volume high to grounded presence, steady eye. Afterglow beneath the moon, not too late, not too soon. Confidence, a quiet tune, carried in the velvet croon. Afterglow in heavy air, nothing forced and nothing rare, just authenticity laid bare, self-aware. Younger silhouettes still rush, fueled by noise and urgent hush. I don't criticize their pace, I just hope they find their space. 'Cause time will smooth what fire starts, will sand the edges off their hearts, will show that power's deeper form is staying centered in the storm. So I cruise without a chase, not escaping any place, just integrating who I've been with who I'm growing in. Afterglow no longer fades, it just gently rearranges what I thought I had to be into to something closer to me. Boulevard, afterglow, still.
There's a space between the kick and the snare, between who I was and who I am. Who I am, 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 who I am. Static floating in the cabin there. Engine hum like a muted prayer. City lights stretched thin and long like memories I held too strong. There was tension in my younger chest. Every silence felt like test. I confused reaction with command. Closed fists I didn't understand. Talked in sharp and jagged tones. Built my armor out of bones. Thought if I stayed 2 steps ahead I'd never fear what wasn't said. But fear don't leave when you outrun. It just waits till noise is done. And in that gap between the beat, you hear what pride tried to defeat. Dashboard glowing soft and blue, reflecting someone new. Not softer in a fragile way, but grounded in a steadier sway. There's a rhythm in restraint, and not responding out of faint, and letting impulse fade away before it gets a chance to stay. Static breeze between heartbeats now. No more needing to prove how strong I am or what I allow. I'm different somehow. Static in the violet haze, not lost inside the praise, not chasing louder days, just steady in my ways. 420 drifting thin and slow, not to hide, just to let go of the edge I used to wear, like tension braided in my hair. There was a time I loved control, measured power by patrol, over rooms in overtone, never comfortable alone. Now solitude don't sting, it's where I hear everything. Every lesson buried deep, every promise I must keep. The baseline roll beneath my ribs, heavy truth in subtle scripts. Not aggressive, not extreme, just disciplined and clean. Street lights blur like faded doubt, old identities moving out. I don't resent who I was, I just don't live there because growth ain't loud or celebrated. It's quiet shifts recalibrated. It's recognizing what you feel and deciding what is real. Masculine ain't measured loud, it's calm inside a restless crowd. It's choosing not to escalate, it's knowing when to regulate. Static between heartbeats, slow confidence without a show. I don't need the world to know the depth below. Static underneath my tone, not defensive, not alone. Solid as a carved out stone, fully grown. Younger silhouettes still race through the same electric space, fueled by hunger, wired tight, chasing something in the night. I see that fire, recognize that urgency behind the eyes. I carried it for many years, disguised as strength, disguised as fears. But now I move with tempered flame, less addicted to acclaim, more aligned with inner core, less concerned with keeping score. Every inhale feels precise, measured breath, deliberate life. Not perfection, not above, just evolve.
midnight between your beats. Between the noise, there's clarity. Between the noise, there's me.
No cameras, no applause, just asphalt, right?
Midnight stretching wide and bare, cool wind cutting through the air. No audience, no stage display, just truth riding in my way. There was hunger in my past for validation that would last. I mistook attention for respect and dominance for self-protect. Raised my voice before my thought, defended battles never fought. Carried tension in my jaw like pressure was a written law. Now I sit back in the seat, let the heavy bass repeat like a heartbeat learning slow what it means to let things go. Purple haze along the glass, reflections of a former mask. I wore it well, I wore it tight, but it cost me peace at night. Strength ain't in the loud display, it's what remains when noise decays. It's holding center, holding ground without needing to be crowned. Midnight without witnesses, growth that no one notices. Calm that slowly kisses this old intensity I used to miss. Midnight with no crowd around, confidence in deeper sound. No performance, no rebound, just solid ground. There were nights I couldn't rest, mind racing in my chest, chasing status, chasing flame, afraid of fading into plain. But plain turned out to be where clarity could breathe, where I could face the parts I once hid in crowded hearts. 420 drifting near, not escape but atmosphere. A moment carved in quiet tone where I can stand alone. Lifted guitar bending low, like emotions I let show. Not dramatic, not extreme, just honest in the beam. City still seduces bright, but I don't need that fight. My identity ain't for sale, not fragile, not for tale. Masculine redefined in me, not through force but integrity. Not through volume, not through threat, but through boundaries I protect. Midnight without witnesses, peace that quietly persists. Not dependent on the lists of who approves or who resists. Midnight under violet air, nothing forced and nothing rare, just authenticity laid bare, self-aware. Yeah. If you saw me years before, you felt tension at the core, ready always to defend an image I could not transcend. Now my presence enters rooms without thunder, without boom. Still respected, still composed, but no longer overexposed. Engine, I'm like subtle vow, I don't need to prove it now. I just live it steady, slow, let an evolution show. No witnesses required, no spotlight desired, just alignment deep and true. That's the breakthrough, yeah. Midnight, no applause, still powerful. Midnight, no applause, still powerful. Amber fading on the air.
Nightfall and into it still. Burnt amber on the style rim. Sig and breathe the low end down. I remember louder years, fueled by pride and hidden fears. Thought intensity meant if. Held my breath with every step. Guarded tone and guarded stance. Mistook control for advance. At a rhythm sit more wide. Room for softness is top right. Not weaker, not undone. Just refining what I become. Every base beneath my breath, like a out-of-body gift. Stay grounded, stay aware. Not every challenge needs a glare. Street light streaking potent lights, past dissolving in desires. Not erased, just understood. It's necessary for my good. I don't blame on eyes of flame that once carried my name. The third right, but burn me too. Now I do the different. You burn amber, lesson only time can show. Not the fast and not the show, but steady flow. Burn amber in my chest, for my chaos came to rest. Confidence, we're at the test. Self-possessed, it was learning to see in my tone. Like I stood there all alone. Even when surrounded tight, I was fighting phantom fights. Not all the phantom fade away when I consciously delay. Reaction born of fear that once kept danger near. 420, hurl it slow like betting no narrative goal. Not romantic, not escape, just a mindful shift and shade. Viewed it streams beneath the leaf, expressing what I need. Not to dominate the stage, but to elevate the pain. City home feel calls my name, but I'm no longer chasing flame. I build slower, deeper rules and quieted up a truth. Quiet away the loudest shout. It's knowing what to live without. It's holding steady or frame there when no one's out against your head. I'm amber, skyline wide. No more worry inside my stride. Not skilling but purified. Center in the side. I'm amber, fading light. Guiding me through every night. Not a busting mountain fight. And it's right. Y'all my shadow silly night underneath the neon light. I survived in the set. I remember being there, but time reshapes the blade. Sharp faded, slowly fade. What remains is sound, but still street view don't conceal. So if I drive into the dawn, not escape, man, what is gone? What integrating everybody to a calm apart. And we're turning into crack. Night surrender ends a day, and I remain composed, alive, body breathing life. Amber, don't fade, still steady. Still steady.
No sir, not tonight. Just quiet inside.
There was a time my thoughts would race, like flashing lights I couldn't chase. Every challenge felt alarm, every word potentially harm. Lived in constant high alert,
ego quick to counter hurt. Jaw clenched tight against the world, like tension was a flag unfurled. Now there's no sirens in my head, no urgent scripts that must be read, no reflex need to escalate. Every minor shifting state, street lights slide across the hood, like reminders of what stood before I learned to let things be, before I practice clarity. Calm ain't weakness, calm is choice. Strength ain't measured by the voice. It's in posture, it's in breath, it's in what you leave to rest. No sirens in my head tonight, no inner war I need to fight. Confidence without the might feels right. No sirens under violet haze, no addiction to the blaze. I don't need chaotic days to feel raised. 420 drifting light and thin, not escape but settling in the skin I used to doubt, in the truths I once shut out. Judith chords beneath my tone, like acceptance fully grown. Marin's hollow, velvet tight, carrying both shadow and light. There were seasons built on clash, on pride that moved too fast, on proving something undefined to an audience in my mind. Now that audience is gone, no imaginary baton, just the rhythm of my chest, finally allowed to rest. Their city hum, still present, sure temptation still endure, but they don't control my pace, they don't dictate my space.
Masculinity refined, not through force but state of mind, not through volume, not through fear, but through presence anchored here.
No sirens in my head, no ghosts I need to dread, past integrated, fed instead. No sirens, steady tone, grounded fully on my own, solid as a tempered stone. I don't glamorize the storm, that chaos had a hidden form. It carved resilience, yes that's true, but left some damage too. So I choose a quieter flame, not indifferent, not the same, just evolve beyond the need to let adrenaline lead. Engine hum like steady vow, I don't need to prove it now. Every mile beneath the sky feels like silent alibi. No sirens, only breath, no drama, flirting death, just deliberate existence, measure distance now. Quiet, grounded, home.
Violet eyes, fire thick, breathing deeper now.
There's a weight inside the chest that used to feel like unrest. Now it feels like grounded tone, like territory I own. Violet sky stretched wide and low, city wrapped in purple glow, reflection sliding down the glass, ghosts of former selves that pass. I remember sharper days when my voice would always raise, not to communicate but to intimidate, confuse dominance with respect, confuse silence with neglect. Built a fortress out of pride, lock vulnerability inside. Now I let the lungs expand, don't resist what I can't command. Heavy air but steady frame, no more playing that old game. Breathing slow, breathe out long, strength don't need to to face. Muted strings beneath my tone sound like lessons fully grown. Not dramatic, not extreme, just disciplined and clean. There were nights I couldn't sleep, mind in overdrive too deep, measuring worth in external noise, competing with imaginary boys. Now comparison feels thin, like an outdated origin. I don't measure, I refine. I don't conquer, I align. City hope still calls my name, but it doesn't spark the same urgency that once defined every corner of my mind. Masculinity matured, less reactive, more assured. Less about the loud display, more about the inner wave. Violet hours, steady chest, former chaos laid to rest. Not perfect, just progress. Self-possessed, violet sky and open breath. No more racing toward regret. I don't need to intercept, just accept. I see younger frames outside, wrapped in armor, wrapped in pride. I recognize that restless stare, that hunger born of thin air. I carried it, I know it well. The subtle fear you never tell, but time reshapes the rigid line, turns pressure into spine. So I stand in heavy air, balance grounded, aware, not above and not beneath, just fully in my own belief. Engine low, baseline thick, heartbeat steady, precise slick. Violet hours fading slow, and I'm exactly where I go. Heavy lungs, violet dawn, still strong.
Violet hour, air thick, breathing deeper now. There's a weight inside the chest that used to feel like unrest. Now it feels like grounded tone, like territory I own. Violet sky stretched wide and low, city wrapped in purple glow. Reflections sliding down the glass, ghosts of former selves that passed. I remember sharper days when my voice would always raise, not to communicate, but to intimidate. Confused dominance with respect, confused silence with neglect. Built a fortress out of pride, like vulnerability inside. Now I let the lungs expand, don't resist what I can't command. Heavy air but steady frame, no more playing that old game. Breathing slow, breathe out long. Strength don't need to prove it's strong. It's in restraint, it's in release, it's in choosing inner peace. Violet hours, heavy lungs, old battles left unsung. No longer ruled by what was young or what was done. Violet glow across my skin, forgiving who I've been. Confidence grown from within, no spin. 420 curling in the night, not rebellion, not a fight, just ritual of slow and pace, of meeting self face to face. A set of strings beneath my tone sound like lessons fully grown. Not dramatic, not extreme, just disciplined and clean. There were nights I couldn't sleep, mind in overdrive too deep, measuring worth in external noise, competing with imaginary boys. Now comparison feels thin, like an outdated origin. I don't measure, I refine. I don't conquer, I align. City home still calls my name, but it doesn't spark the same urgency that wants to find every corner of my mind. Masculinity matured, less reactive, more assured. Less about the loud display, more about the inner wave. Violet hours, steady chest, former chaos laid to rest. Not perfect, just progress, self-possessed. Violet sky and open breath, no more racing toward regret. I don't need to intercept, just accept.
Yeah. Yeah, I see younger frames outside, wrapped in armor, wrapped in pride. I recognize a restless stare, that hunger born of thin air. I carried it, I know it well, the subtle fear you never tell. But time reshapes the rigid lines, there's pressure in the spine. So I stand in heavy air, balance grounded, aware. Not above and not beneath, just fully in my own belief. Engine low, baseline thick, heartbeat steady, precisely. Violet hours fading slow, and I'm exactly where I go.
Heavy love, violet dawn, still strong. Heavy love, violet dawn, still strong. Heavy love, violet dawn, still strong.
Hands steady,
Hands steady,
engine low. Nothing to outrun tonight.
dancing all down tonight.
Slow hands resting on the wheel, not gripping hard, just letting feel the weight of miles beneath the tires. Not chasing sparks, not feeding fires. There was a version of me before who treated life like open war. Every glance a coded thread, every silence unpaid debt. Jaw set tight, shoulders raised, living in defensive phase. Thought if I controlled the scene, I could silence what I'd seen. But control is fragile glass, pressure builds and cracks it fast. So I learned to ease the grip, let old habits slowly slip.
Streetlights passing left and right, soft halos in the night. City breathing in and out like it understands my doubt. I don't have to dominate every tone or every stage. Sometimes power's power stands, sometimes strength is second chance.
Slow hands on the wheel tonight, not escaping, not in flight. Confidence without the fight feels right.
Feels right.
Slow hands, heavy baseline hum. No more proving I'm someone. Already whole, already done, becoming one.
Give me love. There were nights I drove too fast, running hard from shadows cast, from conversations left unsaid, from fragile pride inside my head. I mistook intensity for depth and authenticity, mistook anger for resolve, mistook chaos for evolve. Now I breathe before I speak, let the pulse beneath me peak. That low velvet grain, carrying both loss and gain. 420 drifting thin, not to hide what's underneath skin. Just to soften sharper lines, give reflection room and time. Dashboard glow across my chest, feels like something close to rest. Not complacent, not asleep, just aligned and breathing deep. Masculine without display, grounded in a steady sway. Not the loudest in the room, still commanded through the gloom. Slow hands on the wheel again, no resentment, no pretend. Past the teacher, not a chain, integrated pain. Slow hands under violet skies, no disguise behind the eyes. Strength matured, no compromise, just right. Just right. I see younger silhouettes carrying inherited threats. Ego sharpened like a blade, identity and noise displayed. I don't judge that former stance, I remember that expanse of confusion dressed as pride, of hunger I could never hide. But growth carved a different lane, less addicted to acclaim, more attuned to inner core, less concerned with keeping score. Engine humming like a vow, I don't need to prove it now. Every mile beneath the moon feels like quiet afternoon. So I keep my hands relaxed, future not a
counterattack. Just a path unfolding slow, and I'm ready for the flow. Slow hand